Today, we're going to look at the importance of characters and character development throughout a story, and why an author needs to develop not only one character, but multiple types of character to push a plot along. So, characters are far more than just a name, an age, and a physical description. In literature, a character is used by a tool for the author either to move a story along or to help develop a theme, idea, or an overall message. Some characters we're familiar with already are Shmuel and Bruno from Boy in the Striped Pajamas, both of which are different characters to the story, and they provide different insights and different reasonings and purposes for the author to have created them. We also have Shrek and the Minions from Despicable Me. Again, both are different characters. One is a main character, one is a minor character, and they all serve different purposes, but are absolutely necessary to a story's plot. A static character is one who does not change or grow throughout a story. Now, this could be considered a main character, or it could be a minor character. But the overall purpose for a static character is to develop an overall storyline. They play a supporting role to the main character to help them grow or develop and evolve. But like I said before, not all main characters are going to be a dynamic character. A main character could be static, and that would be for a purpose to show a lack of change in a character. If that plot line is trying to show that this person is not going to change for a specific reason, the author can choose to have them be a static character. So let's take a look at an example of a static character.
Life's not fair, is it? You see, I shall never be king. And you shall never see the light of another day. And you.
Didn't your mother ever tell you not to play with your food?
What do you want?
I'm here to announce that King Mufasa's on his way. So you'd better have a good excuse for missing the ceremony this morning.
Oh, now looks as if you made me lose my lunch.
Ha! You'll lose more than that when the king gets through with you. He's as mad as a hippo with a hernia.
So in The Lion King, Scar is meant to be a static character to show the constant evil in this storyline, not only for Mufasa, but for Simba as he tries to overcome obstacles to become king. Scar stays the same. He's cruel, he's evil, he's mean-spirited, he manipulates others, and he does everything in this story for himself. Next is a dynamic character, which is one who does change and grow throughout a story. So this often is the main character of the story, or it could also be multiple main characters or supporting characters. But the purpose for a dynamic character is the reason that a story exists. It's the purpose why the author is writing something, because a dynamic character must undergo an important inner change, which helps us as the reader learn about the importance of something. So if a character is learning how to be a better person, that is kind of what the reader is supposed to be learning as well. It makes a story relatable to us as the reader and allows us to have personal connections or to connect to other texts. So an example from The Lion King, the dynamic character would be Simba. So let's look at him from the beginning of the story, and then let's look at how he's progressing to become more of a dynamic character and changing.
Step lively. The sooner we get to the waterhole, the sooner we can leave.
So where are we really going? An elephant graveyard. Wow! Shh! Sasu, right. So how are we gonna ditch the dodo? I know.
Oh, just look at you two, little seeds of romance blossoming in the savannah. Your parents will be thrilled. What with your being betrothed and all?
Be what?
Betrothed. Intended. Affianced.
Meaning?
One day you two are going to be married.
Yuck! Ew. I can't marry her.
Okay, so he's immature, he's not really progressing as a character, we're just being introduced to Simba as a person. This example is going to show us he's maturing and really understanding the importance for him to become king.
What was that? The weather. Very peculiar, don't you think?
Yeah. Looks like the winds are changing.
Change is good.
Yeah, but it's not easy. I know what I have to do, but going back means I'll have to face my past. I've been running from it for so long. Ow! Jeez, what was that for?
It doesn't matter. It's in the past.
Yeah, but it still hurts.
Oh, yes.
So Simba literally says that he needs to change from who he used to be. So this very blatantly shows you that he's a dynamic character and needs to change. A stock character is a character who's going to be based on a common literacy or social stereotype. So a lot of our stories that we're going to be reading have a stereotypical character. For example, the bad boy or the girl next door or a nerd or a jock. And the purpose of these characters is because they're easily relatable and they're understandable. That the authors feel that most people can get an understanding of who this person is, so they put them in there so that there's some kind of an easy connection. But they're also a good way to make fun of a certain type of group of people. So let's look at some stock characters from different stories.
I used to put my faith in worship, but then my chance to get.
Evil takes a human form in Regina George.
She's the queen bee, a star. Those other two are just her little workers.
Regina George.
Ew! Get off of me! Ugh, an if.
Look up there. Chris, I've got you.
You got me! Who's got you?
Okay, so different stock characters would be, the damsel in the distress, the hero, the jock, or the cool girl, the cheerleader, a lot of stuff that are relatable to the American society. So how can characters be revealed? Well, we use a thing called character traits, and there's two ways of doing that, indirectly or directly. Directly would be someone's just going to come out and tell you, but that's not going to happen in any of our literacy stories that we're going to be reading. So we need to use indirect characterization to be able to understand what type of person they are. So we're going to look at the things people say. How do they say it? What are they saying? What do they want from what they're saying? Does that make them a nice person, a demanding person? What does that make them? We're going to look at what they think. So while we're reading, sometimes we have the privilege to be able to know what the characters are thinking. So that's going to help us determine what type of person they are. We're going to look at what they do, both physically and mentally, and how they interact with others. How they react to what other people are saying is really important to be determining of what type of character we're looking at. How others react to them. So how do they interact with other people? What is their perception? Okay, so characterization is really important to the overall story because without it, our story is stagnant. It doesn't make sense. So we as the readers need to become more privy to identifying the characters in the story, what their purpose is to the story, and what type of character they are.